Okay, Charles LeBlanc here. Want to read my blog? Go to bullshit and write. Go to Google, write bullshit, and you see my blog, or just write Charles LeBlanc. You'll see it. Next month, there's a big decision that the budget is coming out by the provincial government. Now, I think the decision has already been made for cuts and cuts and cuts. But one cut they should do is to at least put down the grant or the payments, transfer payment, whatever they call it, to the city of Fredericton. They should cut it by at least $3 to $5 million, at least. I mean, the city of Fredericton, which is known to be the most racist city in Canada, and the city of Fredericton is showing they don't know how to, how can I say that, budget money. They control money. I didn't know how to control money, all right. But they, I'm sorry, I only had one cup of coffee. How to really take care of their money. So what I'm trying to say is, like Stephen Harper Woodside, like he wanted to shut down the IROC for, like they had the strip joint license. There was 6 months left. He wanted to give them $150,000. Just give the owner $150,000 and that'll be it. Of course, we know it's a friend of Woodside. So anyway, never mind that. Or, like, hey, the manager of the Fredericton Transit only stole over $5,000. Come on, there's nothing there. The Godfather, Woodside, even showed up in court with the guy saying, like, we don't want to ruin his reputation. The guy stole, okay? But Woodside will turn around and accuse me to be a pedophile. Go to court. He's going to go to court in a few months, right before the election. This should be good, to prove that Charles LeBlanc is a pedophile. That should be good. Then maybe we could go after Woodside. Never mind. Okay, we're going to go through that before the election. Now, the payments. The city of Fredericton is cutting down. They don't want the citizen to exercise. Okay, we know that. The immigrants, the less fortunate, if they see them ride a bicycle on the sidewalk or ride a bicycle without a helmet, they hunt them down. And then if the person has a mental illness, what you doing? Boom! Tase them. Then they charge them for other issues. Now, number one, healthcare. The poor, Leanne Fitch, the chief of police, we're going all over the place today. Leanne Fitch doesn't want the poor and the immigrants to exercise. They want them to grow fat. And what happens? They die. And then what happens? They end up in the hospital, costing a fortune to the taxpayers. Take diabetic, heart attacks, heart failure, just because the city of Fredericton do not want them to exercise. So, okay, that's another thing. So the money to cut from the city, $3 or $5 million, healthcare, and the other one is justice. The cops, idiot cops, racist cops, River Rat, Matt Myers, known racist, Sergeant Matt Myers, shithead, went in court and said, cost is not an avenue. Like when that idiotic poet attacked me and I protected myself, they opened a huge investigation. Lots of money involved, lots of hours. There's no cost, there's no limit on cost. So the Fredericton Police Force is costing the justice system, through the justice system, a fortune. And now we're trying to educate the people. Now, when those cops showed up at the door and said, we are the Fredericton Police, you're under arrest. And then they make them sign, forced, especially people with mental illness, make them sign condition that's impossible to follow. And if they fart, they end up in jail, breach of police condition. It's just like Russia or China, but worse. Because we're not supposed to act this way, only in Fredericton. So what they do, boy, this is a long rant. What a way to start 2016. I'm all wound up today. They turn around. We're going to try to educate these people not to plead guilty, not to force them to plead guilty, to have a trial and have a trial. And there'll be so many trials that, you know, they say, we gotta do this. Leave the people alone. Leave. The cops should just leave the fuck people alone and everything be all right. But no, they don't do that because they're racist. There's no communication between the cops and the poor, or the cops and the immigrants or the refugees. The only communication is via the courts. So, it's costing a lot of money. So I hope Brian Gallo cuts the transfer payment, or, you know, the grants to the city of Fredericton from $3 to $5 million, so the city begins to finance their own budget in a good way and not just spend money like Brad Woodside, alias the Godfather.